wisdom is a very important thing in the Bible. The Bible teaches us to seek wisdom. The problem is that wisdom is not appreciated in today's society. In today's society, money is more important, right? Power is more important. Beauty is more important. Fame is more important. You don't often see a lot of hype about wisdom. But the Bible talks about it. Happy is anyone who becomes wise, who comes to have understanding. There is more profit in it than there is in silver. It is worth more than gold. Wisdom offers long life as well as wealth and honor. You see, wisdom is key to having a successful, prosperous life. But what is the key to wisdom? What is the key to unlocking true wisdom? Not just knowledge. You know, there's a lot of people who have a lot of knowledge, but knowledge alone will not help you. There are a lot of knowledgeable people that make terrible mistakes, and they get into all sorts of problems. We need wisdom. What is the key to unlocking true wisdom? The key is respect for God. If you really want to gain knowledge, you must begin by having respect for the Lord. But foolish people hate wisdom and training. Foolish people are too proud, and they don't want to learn, and they don't want to apply knowledge. Instead, they resist training, and eventually they get burned. But it makes sense for you and I to get to know the Creator God. If you got something new from the store and you brought it home from Best Buy or whatever, and it came with an instruction manual, it would be foolish for you to tackle it without looking at the instruction manual at all. I do that. I'm a man. I don't like to be told what to do. I don't like to read, okay? And so I throw away the instruction manual. But then I get into trouble, right? And there's all sorts of things that I don't know how to do and I don't know how to fix, and it crashes, and then I have to go back to the instruction manual. Well, God is like that. We need to get to know the Creator of the universe because He has created us, He has designed us, He knows us, and He knows what is best. And so the foundation of wisdom is knowing and respecting God. You know, the Bible tells us that at the time of Jesus' birth, there were also wise men. These wise men were from the East. Maybe from Russia, maybe from China, I don't know. But they were from the East, and they knew that something very special happened. They knew that something unusual was occurring in Bethlehem. How did they know that? They examined the stars. They were astrologers, and they studied the heavens. And they knew that because of the heavens, they knew that something was different, and they figured out that there was a king above all kings, a Lord above all lords, and He was born in the Middle East, and they would venture forth and follow that star to find Jesus and to worship Him and to give Him homage. We can learn. We too can be wise men, not wise guys. Right? People always call me a wise guy. Not a wise guy, but a wise man. We too can be wise men and women and young people. We can be wise if we recognize the signs of the times. If we recognize the signs of the times. So there are signs from the Bible that tell us that Jesus is coming soon. Did you know that? Did you know that? Once upon a time, Jesus was sitting with His disciples. His disciples came to Him and they said, "When will you come back?" You see, Jesus told them. He said, "Don't be alarmed. I will not be with you always. I will go to die, to give my life up as a ransom for the entire human race. but you will not be alone. Meanwhile, I will go to prepare a place for you. And if I go to prepare a place for you, meaning heaven, I will come back. And he says, don't worry, I will come back for you. I will not forget you. I will not leave you. I will not abandon you. But they said, Jesus, tell us, when will you come back? Do you have any signs? Do you have any clues? And Jesus said this: people will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to the parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, and brutal. Signs from society. Jesus says, look at society. And when you see the people of the world doing unthinkably cruel and selfish and self-centered things, watch out. I'm coming soon. Aren't you amazed? I'm amazed at the violence around us today. People will shoot someone because they cut them off in traffic. Right? We've heard of that. Lee told me the other day, my good friend Lee told me that he heard of a man who shot his wife. Shot her. Why? Because of an argument coming from a football game. Isn't that crazy? I like the 49ers. No, I like the Raiders. Okay, right? Wow! People are crazy today. And the level of anger and total lack of self-control. I was so grieved when I heard of young women being pregnant and then throwing their babies into the trash. You hear about these things. And Jesus says, watch out. When you hear about these things, I'm coming soon. Because there will be more and more lawlessness. Most people love will grow cold. That's our world today, isn't it? There will be signs also from nature. Jesus says there will be terrible earthquakes, famines, plagues everywhere. There will be strange and terrifying things coming from the sky. Every month we hear of one or two totally disastrous earthquakes. Not little minor ones, big ones. Where thousands and thousands of people are hurt, where buildings collapse, where tsunamis come and ruin cities. Just recently we have heard of Paradise, a little town. I like to go fishing up there. That was one of my favorite places to go fishing in Lake Oroville. The entire city has been wiped off the face of the earth because of a fire. Jesus says, when you see all these things happening, I'm coming soon. There are signs from politics. Jesus says you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. Nations will fight against other nations. Politicians will refuse to make peace with anyone. Do we know anyone like that? Any of our political leaders? Huh? They will be slanderous, lack of self-control, brutal, and have no love for what is good. They will be traitors. They will be reckless and conceited. They will love pleasure rather than God. Wow. We hear of all these presidents and congressmen and people having affairs and doing incredibly narcissistic, self-centered things. And we think, how could an elected officer do that? And it is common today, isn't it? It is so common. Jesus says, when you see these things happening, look up. I'm coming soon. There are signs from your heart and from your mind. What can be known about God is clear to them because he has made it clear. From the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power, his divine nature have been clearly observed in what he has made. When you and I look at the universe, when you and I look through a telescope, when you and I look through a microscope, when you and I look at the mountains and the rivers and the ocean, wow! It is incredulous. It is impossible. It is ridiculous to believe that all of this came about as an accident. When our children were born, when my son was born, I got married late in life, and I had kids late in life, and wow, when he came out, I thought, what a miracle. We will have some beautiful little people. 小朋友. Is that how you say it? Okay? We have some little adorable little people. They are miracles. You little guys are miracles. Any parent can tell you that. We were humbled, we were astounded, we were amazed that God could create this beautiful human being with little toes and, no, little toes, his fingers, little fingers and little toes and a little personality and their own temperament and their own way of thinking, and it had very little to do with us. We were amazed. You know, we know, if we have an open mind, we know that there must be a God. There must be something bigger. There must be something more than just Darwinism and evolution. You are not a product of a toad, or a monkey, or a paramecium. Amen? Right? It is ridiculous to think that something as awesome as a human being came about by accident. Signs from your heart and mind. My soul yearns for you in the night. My spirit within me searches for you. There is something in the human heart that longs for eternity. There is something in your heart that you know this life is not enough. Amen? This life is not enough. This life cannot satisfy you. You were meant for more than this life can possibly give you. Your heart tells you this. The human spirit is immortal. You know that you want to live forever. Everyone wants to live forever. And God says, you will, with me. Listen, I stand at the door of your heart and I knock, and if you hear my voice and open the door, I will come in and we will what? We will eat together. Let me use a little bit of Cantonese. I don't know if some of you speak and understand Cantonese. My Cantonese is not good, okay? I was born here, so my Cantonese is really shaky. But 好多西人唔知點解主耶穌會話我同埋你食飯。A lot of Westerners don't understand why Jesus, being Asian, would say, I will eat with you. Why eat? Because when we eat, it is more than just eating. You don't eat with an enemy, right? You don't eat with someone who hates you. Who do you eat with? 你自己啲愛人啊，係咪？你同嗰啲人熟，你同嗰啲人好愛嘅。You eat with your loved ones. You eat with the people who mean something to you. You eat with people who you have an intimate relationship with. You don't like to eat with people who slander you and who belittle you and who sabotage you. You want to eat with your friends. And what Jesus is saying is, he says, if you open the door of your heart, and it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter how young you are. Jesus says, I will come in and I will eat with you. We'll throw a few back. We'll have a good time together. I will be your loved one. I will be your buddy, your friend. 你個死黨. Okay? I will be the one you can count on when all others have abandoned you. Wow. But to all who believed and accepted him, he gave the right to become children of God. The powerful message of Christmas is that God wants to adopt human beings as his own children. And if he is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, you and I will be princes and princesses in his flesh. Wise men still seek Jesus today. The wise men sought Jesus 2,000 years ago. But wise women, wise men, wise young people, wise children still seek him. Will you? Will I? The Bible tells us, in closing, if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. Jesus is knocking on the door of your heart now. If you and I will open that door, he will come in and he will be your friend, your Savior. He will take you home to be in heaven with him. Shall we pray? Can we just pray right now real quick? Close your eyes. And if you would like to receive Jesus Christ, you can do so very easily. You can just say these words in your heart. Dear Jesus, I open the door of my heart and ask that you come in and that you be my best friend forever. I ask that you wash away my sins, my mistakes, my past, and give me a new life. I pray that you will remember me and take me home to be with you in your glorious and perfect heaven. Amen. Wise men still seek Jesus today.